I attended a Marshall Silver show with my friend Rick. We were sitting way in the back of the venue at the Hard Rock Casino. And at a certain point, Rick went up as a volunteer on stage. He returned back to his seat. And then something happened I'll never forget. He stood up, threw his chair across the room, ran down the center aisle, up on stage, ready to hit Marshall Silver, and a second later, he was lying asleep on the stage. He eventually returned back to his seat, and he had no recollection, no memory of any of it. So here's the story. We're at the Hard Rock, and there's a big venue where they have concerts and things like that. Marshall Silver, the hypnotist, the business coach, entrepreneur, he is doing one of his entertainment hypnosis shows. Rick and I had attended these business seminars, which I'd mentioned in the previous couple of videos. Some great lessons there. Be sure to check those out. I'll put a link at the end of this video. You'll definitely want to check those out. But this one wasn't business. This is just all pure fun and entertainment. We attended. We're sitting way in the back of this event. And for whatever reason, Rick had sprained his ankle, and he had some type of, maybe one of those walking casts that you have on. But he was still struggling to move around. But we go to this event. Sitting in the back, somewhere during the show, Marshall Silver invites volunteers to come up. If you've ever attended one of his shows or any of these hypnotist shows, they ask for some volunteers and they put them through some exercises. They let a few of them head back to their seats, and then they'll have a core group that they work with. Rick volunteers, takes some time, but he walks up there with his walking cast, gets on stage. The hypnotist gives them their instructions on what they're going to do. Now, he remembered Rick from the previous events that we had attended. So he had asked Rick, or he commanded Rick during hypnosis. And under hypnosis, he gives them the command that you're going to return back to your seat. When I say the word Hard Rock, it's going to infuriate you. You are going to get really mad. The second time I say Hard Rock, you are going to get another level of just furious with me. The third time I say it is going to put you over the edge. You're going to run up on this stage, and you are going to punch me and knock me out right on stage. Now the whole audience is hearing this. I'm hearing this. This Rick, I know. I mean, this is so outrageous. Brings him out of hypnosis. Rick walks down the aisle, still, with his cast, walking slowly, but nursing that ankle. Sits down in his chair. And the chairs that we're sitting in, since this was a venue for concerts and most likely was an open standing room only type of thing for a concert, they were just folding metal chairs. The old folding metal chairs we're sitting in. I think we're probably in the last row of this thing. The show continues just as normal. And then Marshall Silver says the word Hard Rock. Now, Rick is a big, muscular dude. He's kind of intimidating as well. He's sitting maybe not directly next to me, but one chair over. And he stands up and he points at Marshall on the stage and yells across this huge venue. There's probably, I don't know, maybe a couple hundred people in there. I don't remember. It's been a while. And yells at him, furious. Sits back in his seat. Marshall's like, oh, okay, hey, sorry, and makes some jokes and things, talks a little bit more. And then he says, it's so exciting and fun to be here at the Hard Rock Hotel or Casino, whatever, casino. Rick stands up again, points at him. I told you, never say that again. And sits down just fuming. And I see him boiling. This isn't an act. This is legit. So the third time, I think Marshall says something, we're so excited, appreciate you joining us here at the Hard Rock Casino. Rich gets up, yells at him again. He takes that metal chair and threw it. Now, I think before that happened, Marshall even might have said, like, hey, if there's anyone sitting next to him, make sure, whatever, you're not too close to him or whatever, just to be safe. Says the Hard Rock Casino again. Rich stands up, yells at him, takes that metal chair, throws it, runs down the center aisle up to the stage. Now remember, he's nursing this twisted ankle with this walking cast, and he looked like it was a miracle, like he was cured. He charges down that center aisle like a bull, runs up on that stage. No joke, he's ready to just knock this guy out, Marshall Silver. One of Marshall's assistants, of course, is up there waiting, standing behind Rick. And right before this all gets ugly, Marshall is like, sleep now, boom, does the floor stomp in a snap. And Rich just falls backwards. Just falls backwards into a deep sleep, and the assistant there lays him out right on the ground. It was unreal. I wish I had this on video. This thing would have been, this is, 25 years ago or something. Lays him out on the stage. It was intense. I just still couldn't get over it. He's running with this twisted ankle, ready to knock out the speaker in this, Marshall Silver. And while he's under hypnosis, Marshall gives him this command. I think that he'll have, of course, no memory of this. And as an added thing that he's telling him, you enjoyed this show and this experience so much. When the show is over, you're going to wait outside of the venue and greet and shake hands with everybody who attended and thank them for coming out. I'm like, okay, we'll see what happens. The show ends. I go out there. No kidding. He has no recollection of what happened. He's out there shaking hands, thanking everybody for attending the show. It was unbelievable. It was hilarious because, of course, everybody else is in on it. He's not aware of it. And he did exactly what those commands were to his subconscious mind. And I think he stood out there to the very end. And I think that was part of it. You will greet everybody and thank them all for attending until they were all finished. And I see Marshall over there. He had recognized me because Rick and I attended many of these. And he was just kind of smiling and laughing. And then he had called me over and he said, hey, did Rick drive here by himself? Did you drive with you? And I think he drove himself, and he said, well, hey man, just stay with him for a while, make sure that because it's like you have a deep restful sleep in that time you're under hypnosis. It's like several hours of deep relaxation and sleep is the feeling. So seems kind of groggy and stuff, and he just, hey man, just stick with him, make sure he's okay to drive, make sure he's good to go. One of the coolest experiences I've ever seen, one of the most insane things I've ever seen with hypnosis, especially witnessing it that close and seeing the outcome of it. So I wanted to share this incredible, entertaining experience. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I hope you're a fan as well as personal growth and hypnosis and this crazy story of my friend Rick. And it's also something to get you to think about just the actions that you take in life. How many of these are conscious actions that you're choosing to take, and how many of these things are just subconscious programming that you're operating on autopilot? I don't know. Think about it. Hope you enjoyed the story. Have an amazing day. Be sure to check out that next video. I have it linked about some of our other fun experiences attending Marshall Silver events. Have a great day. Thanks.